Yesterday, I talked about our birthright and our birthright to choose for ourselves. And so, more understanding, way deeper understanding has come. And so, I'm going to share that on our birthright to choose for ourselves. So, when we are growing up, and I've talked about the world veils us from a very early age, from birth. They start to veil us with their beliefs and their way of doing things and their systems and religious beliefs and all those things. And so, as we take back our birthright, it can be extremely hard because we desire that what's familiar. And what's familiar is we've always had somebody there telling us what to do. We've always had somebody there, leading us, I guess, in whatever way that was, right? And so we feel like we need a leader or something is wrong, right? We can't think for ourselves. And especially in religion, people will go from one religion and they're awakened and they go to another religion. Instead of allowing their awakening to go inward, they go what is familiar, and that is that they need a leader. So if you look at your life, how many times in your life have you done things because this is the religion we go to, this is how we do things. School, this is how we do the math this way. You can't do it your way or it's wrong, even if you end up with the same answer. The medical field, all these things tell us what to do and how we're supposed to be doing them. And so when we get to a place in our life where we are becoming sovereign again and we're taking back our birthright to be able to think and choose and act for ourselves, that religious trauma, the conditioning of the world that we've given away our birthright to, is very hard to take fully back our birthright. And we find ourselves kind of lost of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing because there's no leader, right? Your leader is Yahshua. He's the one that governs you, but it can be very hard to step into that fully because you still feel kind of lost from not being governed by the world. And our true governor is not Yahshua, it's Emmanuel. It's our King. He is our true governor. He's supposed to govern us. And so he teaches us and then, sets us free on our course. Like, you have all the tools now, make it a lifestyle and use these tools that I've given you. So he shows us how to govern ourselves, but the transition of that can be extremely hard and difficult. So as I was in conversation with my husband today, and I told him, this has been the struggle that I'm in because my whole life, I was in a very dictating family, religion, just every aspect of my life was very dictated by other people. And as I was expressing this to him, he explained something about the Garden of Eden that I had never considered before. And I was like, and it was powerful when he said it. Both of us were just like, whoa. So I want to share this. The purpose of the Garden of Eden was to show that we all come here to learn and to grow and to progress. And you cannot do that without partaking of the fruit. And so, and learning to be accountable for yourself, to choose for yourself, which is what Eve did. She chose for herself. And then Adam chose that, hey, I'm gonna stay here because this is what I was commanded to do, but I'm gonna make this choice. He could have left Eve, but he didn't. He made the choice to stay, and that can go both ways. So consider that with the choices we make, especially in unions. Whether it's a choice that your husband's making or a choice that you're making. Do you walk through the fire with them? Or do you bail? Or do you expect them to walk through the fire with you, but when you have to walk through the fire with them, they're like, yeah, no, I'm good. So think about that from an Adam and Eve perspective. But here's the key in it all. There has to be good and evil in all things, or else we do not learn and we do not progress. And so this is the revelation that my husband was given, when Eve partook of the fruit, it was a choice that she had made. And in that choice, her eyes were open to, I know thee now. Okay? Isn't that how we're supposed to be living our life? There has to be opposition in all things. There has to be the dark and the light. And when we see the dark, it's opening our eyes of, I know thee now. That's not a choice I want to be making. Our eyes are opened. And that's what happened. She knew what she had done. Her eyes were open to that, and she was like, okay, yeah, now I have to be accountable. My consumption is going to be sorrowful, and that's where Cain and Abel came from. That's why Cain was from the dark, the serpent, and Abel was from God, the righteous, right? So you have light and dark, okay? And she had to be accountable for the choices she had made. But she also, in making that choice, learned that her eyes were opened. So the two main lessons from the Garden of Eden are this. We all have our birthright to choose for ourselves. Eve shows that. And then Adam displays that. What they had to go learn in the process of that was to be accountable then for their choices, which they were sent out to learn that, Eve blamed the serpent, Adam blamed the woman. Neither of them could take responsibility for what they had done. And so the true lesson in using our birthright then is to be responsible or take accountability for the choices that we make. And it's not on anyone else. You save yourself. No one else can save you. No one else can be accountable for the choices you make. And so once we understand that, we are here to literally learn. There has to be light and there has to be dark. Otherwise, there's no point in this world. It's to literally balance the two in our life, to partake and to grow. And we cannot grow without partaking. If we don't partake, then we remain we don't progress. You cannot progress without partaking. And the whole point in partaking is so that we see, oh, that worked. Oh, no, that did not. I don't like the repercussions of that action. So I see thee now, and I'm going to hold note to that one. I don't like that outcome of that. But holding yourself accountable for the choices that you make, and realizing it's not on another person. So this world has to have light and dark, and it's learning to balance the two, the scale to balance the two in our life, and learning to be accountable, learning that we are sovereign. Emmanuel is our governor. He's showing us how to govern ourselves without the voices of the world doing it for us. It can be hard, and we want to go back to what is familiar. But if we see we came here to be sovereign, we came here with a birthright to choose and think and act and speak for ourselves. And in that, the beauty is learning to be accountable for that, seeing what works and what does not, and understanding the whole purpose of Eve saying, I know thee now. We know what works and we know what doesn't. So may this be a beautiful insight on our birthright and how to be more effective, and realizing why Emmanuel has taught his people how to govern themselves. And it's truly to be able to have the tools to make the choices and see the outcome of them, and see what works and what does not. So may this just be more beautiful insight on our birthright and how to use it more effectively. Have a glorious day.